Mhm.
Just keeping that in mind and always having that oh shit fund, I think is really important. Um, but
Next thing we have here is remembering that everything is cyclical, both good and bad. And I feel like it's really hard mindset to get out of, and it's a mistake that I think both Dan and I have made over the years. Where, man, when things were good historically, I would forget about all the bad times, and then I would go put myself in a liquidity crunch over and over again. I'd buy, I'd have no money, I'd sell, I'd have a ton of money, and I'm like, never doing that again. And then a bunch of deals come through, and I go buy a bunch more, and it just kept happening over and over again. Even though I will use it to buy more deals, and I think that on the cyclical nature of business is it really always feels like, man, when it rains, it pours. Like when one thing goes wrong, 10 things are going to go wrong. And when one thing goes right, 10 things are going to go right. And sometimes those cycles are totally opposite. And sometimes they're going to line up where a bunch of things are going to go right at the same time and a bunch of things are going to go wrong at the same time. We've got a bunch of deals closing, and that's awesome. And it'll bring in a bunch of money. And then you look at the stock market, and my stock portfolio is ridiculously down. Like it's way down. It's horrible right now. And so personal investments look like crap. Business investments are looking good. And I think it's hard to remember that this is just going to keep happening over and over and over again, because there's a lot of influences and variables and factors in business and the economy, and that, it's all relatively cyclical in nature. And that's what history's taught us.
yeah, yeah, no, I think that's a good way to put it. It's so easy to think when things are going well that you're just on a continual upward trajectory. And that is not the case. You are going to get kicked in the teeth, sometimes for months, maybe for a year. I think Mason and I overall have been fairly sheltered. I mean, he told you about some of his struggles. The end of last year and beginning of this year have been slower for me, but I'm not going bankrupt. A lot of people have actually gone bankrupt the last couple of years. It's been a rough few years for a lot of people. So,
Mm-hmm.
just keeping that in mind and always having that oh shit fund, I think is really important. But all right, what do we have next?